what do you expect to come out of APEC?
APEC, this year is, meeting with leaders and businessmen. What expected is how trade, business, and investment in financial institutions and cooperations in development in Asia Pacific will be growing and can be more easier in between, because APEC, as I say, that consisting of two conferences in leaders and businessmen. So we need to think how the policy of leaders and government can be support the businessman to increasingly his trade and investment.
The United States says that one of the key issues they want to bring up is the conflict in the South China Sea. Indonesia is a powerful and influential country, and particularly in Southeast Asia. What position will you be taking?
Indonesia's position is South China Sea should be protected as commercial routes or maritime road for all. This means should be like that. Then I understand what China says, what Xi Jinping says. Look, China is very important to his trade and import-export, and it is impossible to stopping this area for trading. China will be maintaining its positions.
So it's impossible for China to maintain its position.
It is still maintaining. That's why Indonesia. We have no intention to say who's right or wrong, but as far as South China Sea is free for all.
How are you going to? This is the year that December 2015, ASEAN is also supposed to have move forward significantly in a more inclusive zone. And yet each of the countries in ASEAN, both the Philippines and Indonesia, the two largest, seem to also have more protectionist tendencies.
Yeah, any country that have tendency to weak economy, or even to avoid the crisis, he protected his industry to have markets and activities productions. If we protect our market for domestic industry, sometimes look like protectionist, but the objective is how our local domestic industry is working well, employing working well. This one thing is different. Any countries, not only Indonesia and the Philippines, but even China or even America will do the same if they have problems.
But you are live on Periscope in my right hand, and you are live on Facebook in my left hand.
Oh.
Please say hello. What do you want Filipinos to you have a message for Filipinos for APEC.
Hello, we are Indonesian Filipino is brothers. We have a very close neighbor. We have historically relations. We have same face, of course, same cultures. That's why we usually intend to have good relations, both in politics, culture, and social, and economy. Let's working together in this APEC meeting. Indonesia ready for increasing relationship for any levels.
My last question, sir, before I just quickly turn you to Natasha, is in terms of this APEC summit now, you're coming into it with a lot of years behind you. I mean, I remember you from 2004 when you first won as vice president. Leadership in this day and age has changed. What lessons have you learned that you think leaders need to prioritize now?
Yeah, some change, but basically leaders should thinking more visions and how living together with peacefully and making the economic cooperations. We cannot divided anymore. It needed knowledge and friendship, and how we have each country have connectivity each other.
And jumping off of that is technology.
And yeah, of course.
How is technology affecting both governance and leadership?
Like this, before but not very simple technology, and you interview me directly with this technology. Yes, now you can control the country very simple way. You can control all. I can talk all governor with very fast way, and they can control the data very fast way. You should follow this way because you don't need anymore to very face to face, too far to directly, but with technology, I mean. We can, develop, control, or even supervise the country.
Is there a danger ahead? This generation of Indonesians is different from the generation that at the end of Suharto's rule, for example, right? Is there a danger?
Technology neutrals. If using for good, they will good. But if using, very bad, look like revolution. Making the following technology. When Iran revolutions, they using cassette.
Yes.
China revolution using fax. And now Arab revolution because internet. These revolutions using goods, and in business you can match with technology is good. You can send your money instantly in trade, but you can stall to money with this different how you use it technology.
One of the people watching you now on Twitter just asked, when are you going to talk directly to Periscope? When will you broadcast your own messages directly to Periscope?
Periscope? What do you mean?
Yes. When will you you still rely on television primarily, right?
Oh, yeah.
When will you broadcast your own
First
messages
time.
to Periscope? This is the first time.
Thank you. I only know that we can do that.
It's incredible. Natasha, you have any?
And this is incredible to that you use you too for one occasion.
I love this stuff. I think it can leapfrog development for our nation. Natasha, I think we'll just throw a few questions.
Yes, I just have 3 questions. The first one is, and I think you already asked this question, but I wanted to know
In English.
in English, President Obama will be coming to the region, pushing for TPP. The last time he met with President Jokowi, he promised Indonesia would join. How do we plan to deal with that push now, especially because there was a lot of criticism from his ministry?
Now as President Jokowi say, Indonesia intentions to joining TPP. On the meantime, we are studies and we are in depth what have agreed between the country who joined in earlier, what effect for Indonesia, what positive, negatively, and after that will be decided go or not go.
So it's not a promise, just an intention.
Intention, yes.
Okay. Secondly, a lot of people are wondering why the president isn't going to APEC, and they wonder if it's a reflection of the way the Indonesian government thinks of APEC. Is it not a priority, the Asia Pacific region?
No, the president tomorrow will be going to Istanbul to G20, and they back on Sun. They can now direct Istanbul to Manila. That's why they asked me 2 more times to attend these meetings in Manila. This meeting. Why I'm going not Jokowi? Because if Jokowi go there, very short time. They have no more time to discuss or to meeting with many leaders there.
Okay, and what will Indonesia plan to focus on at APEC? What are their 3 main focus?
Yes, of course. We we will focus on how the advantage of cooperation for Indonesian economy, like how the trades, how investment, how SMI, how financial institution inclusions to be affected or to be improvingly the situation in Indonesian economy with cooperation in many countries in APEC.
And my final question is, our top story on Rappler Indonesia right now is the IPT tribunal. What does the government think about the trial, and are there any plans to apologize to the victims?
No. In the IPT is non-binding or what you say, non-formal tribunal. Of course, they morally important, but I say they ask Indonesia to say apologize. But the fact is, this tragedy, who will be korban, the victim, our general. 7 our general in the first day of this nightmare is our general and many soldiers. And then why Indonesia should apologize with this tragedy? Our victim, Indonesia victim, government victim. And why you apologize for that? For who? Who will you apologize for this general?
So why do you think Indonesia's taken? Why is this such a difficult thing for Indonesia to deal with?
No, Indonesia, I think it is history. It is nightmare history. We are all people should say sorry for all, but not government special. To who Indonesia will be apologized? To who?
What do you think of the trial?
Yes, like drama.
Unnecessary, you think?
Depend on necessary for our friend there who is joining, but for us, it's okay. Like drama or like morally, spirits.
How do you look at the kids, this generation of Indonesians? How are they different from our generation?
Yeah, in Indonesia have around in 50 years, there are around 15 conflicts. Many of them starting with communist in 47s in South Maluku, in Pereri, in Sumatra, and in Muslims, the Itay, all have victims. But some of them we are stopping with dialogue with this plea, some of them with militaries, like in Philippines. How long in Mindanao is a problem. But we don't know who is in charge. But important thing, how to end of this tragedy.
I have to throw you a question about ISIS. Sorry, I know.
Okay.
This is the last one, sir. On ISIS, the last book I wrote is on how terrorism, the ideology spreads on social media. Indonesia's gone through a lot, and we've covered all of it.
Important thing we should understand that ISIS is just duplications of Al Qaeda, or its meaning. Al Qaeda ISIS is born in failed country. Who make it Al Qaeda in Afghanistan and ISIS in Iraq and Syria? Why both these countries fail? Because big countries destruct the country, destruct Afghanistan by Russia and come America and fail all structures and the people problem and coming group with ideology to push the people to more conflict. It's the same in Iraq. Who destroyed Iraq? America bombing Iraq. Throw out Saddam on behalf of democracy with false report of intelligence. And there are groups with ideology to to making people to protect the people. This happened. They're making extreme after that. They make war with everybody. This happened, and we don't like that. Indonesia is not a radical country as per region, but we are very sorry to do that. But many countries have responsible for it. Don't look at only what happened, but why that happened. It's important.
Absolutely. And I know I don't want to take up more of your time. Somebody just said on Twitter that they love this kind of interview because they get to develop trust with you. Thank you very much for your time, sir.